What's going on? Will Freeman, RevolutionaryLifestyleDesign.com, talking to you about how to win the day. If you've been watching me for a while, you know it's all about playing the game of life here, treating life like a game, playing it to win, winning being defined as state. State being the thoughts, feelings, sensations in your body, moment to moment, and trying to get those to be as consistently positive as possible. In simpler terms, happiness is what we're playing for. Happiness is what we're playing for in the game of life, to be as consistently happy as possible. That's it. He with the most joy is the one who wins. That's how I see it. And the way I see my adulthood goals have always been to create that second childhood where I was super happy when I was young. I had all these different games to play. We had recess, we had gym, we had video games, we had playing with G.I. Joes. We had all these things, you know? And as we get older, most people tend to lose games, and they tend to accept terrible situations. I mean, how many guys are doing food delivery right now or driving Ubers, right? If it's temporary, that's one thing. Good for you. But so many guys just stop playing aggressively to win. And it's quite sad, but hey, that's the nature of the world, and that's been the nature of the world since time. You really need to make it to that 1% for you to be able to enjoy a quality lifestyle. And that's within capitalism. If you're within communism, I mean, forget about it. You know, it's not happening. So we're blessed to be under capitalism, and we're blessed to be alive at this time in history. There's never been a better time to be alive, no matter how fucked up the political situation is. I mean, like it's not even comparable how good things are right now. So I want to talk to you about winning the day. Okay, winning the day is the key to winning the game of life, and getting up early and getting after your health, wealth, relationships, lifestyle. I tell you guys this stuff all the time, not because I'm David Goggins or Jocko Willink or one of these guys, where it's about discipline for the sake of discipline, where it's about pushing yourself for the sake of pushing yourself, where it's about growth for the sake of growth. Those are all just tools, right, to be able to get state. Those are all tools to be able to get the achievements that you want that ultimately make you happier. And I'm a true believer in living 50% for today and 50% for the future. So that's what I mean by consistent happiness, right? If I was just talking about like winning the day is about being happy today, well, just do heroin or MDMA, okay? That's why I say consistent happiness. We need to at least be 50% in the future, right? So that's going to stop us from doing dumbass shit like that, because you're going to sit around thinking about, hey, if I do heroin today, probably going to be a future problem. So the best way that I think to win the day is to get up and then to stack your day with no white space in your calendar, okay? It's something you hear Grant Cardone talk a lot about, that he was bored when he was younger and had depression and anxiety, but what it really came down to was just boredom. And as I look back on you know, the times where I was really depressed when I was younger, it was just boredom and dislike of my condition. I would just, you know, I was 13 and I was like, man, school's getting serious. There's no more recess. There's no more fun games anymore. Like, this sucks. And I'm starting to learn about the adult world, and it just, I'm like, there wasn't like a fun game that I had to play at that point. And I was bored as hell at school. School was like, outside of seeing my friends, it was torture, just sitting there learning boring shit that I didn't care about. So boredom's the real enemy here. Boredom's the real enemy, and boredom is really just a lack of inspiration, you know? John DeMartini talks a lot about inspiration. You know, if you know you've got a date with a supermodel, you've got a great business, you've got a great group of friends around you, you're doing exciting, adventurous things, you're staying in nice places, you're traveling, you've got a sense of freedom, you've got a motorcycle, you know, you're out in Thailand, you've got a motorcycle, you know, you're renting boats on the weekend, you know, and you're able to look forward over the month, and you're like, I've got this to look forward to, and this, and this, and this, and this, and this, and this. Well, all of a sudden, that depression or that state of depressed, that state of boredom, that state of anxiety is not there anymore, and it's replaced with that state of inspiration. Unfortunately, until you get to a certain level, there's, it becomes easier as you raise yourself up in the game of life, the more money and things that you have going for you. But when you're at a certain level and you're kind of in that survival mode, it's difficult. It's difficult to get into that 1%. It's difficult to get ahead. And so in many cases, you need to be a soldier, You need to be a soldier. So I know you got your business right now. Maybe you're making 5 figures, making 6 figures, maybe you're making 7 figures. But if you're kind of struggling to stay inspired, if you're kind of struggling to stay out of feeling depressed, out of feeling anxiety, this is the total game changer, okay? Just wake up and be willing to win the day, all right? If you don't have my organizational system, go get it. How to Get Organized is my book. And that's going to show you how to put your entire life into tick. So all you have to do is just wake up and just be banging off tasks, right? And all those tasks are going to make you happier. They're going to make you happier today, and they're going to make you happier in the future. For example, this video is one of the things I had to do today. I've got my quarterly RLD checklist. I've got my monthly RLD checklist. I've got my quarterly lifestyle and monthly lifestyle checklist that I'm banging away. I got to go to the gym. I've got to do my quarterly shopping. I've got to do my monthly shopping, because the month and quarter is hitting on the same weekend, this weekend. And there's a decent amount of other things I have to do, and I'm going to be going hard until 8 p.m. tonight, one thing after the other, okay? And I know that as I'm doing those things, not all of them are super exciting. But the ones that aren't super exciting, that's for the 50% in the future. Okay, the gym, I actually enjoy that. It's still going to help me in the future. But a lot of what's going down today is stuff that's going to help me in the future. So all that is going to be giving me state. And I know that I'm waking up to win today, and I'm waking up to stack up maybe 25 wins if I include all the subtasks. And I'm going straight for 10 to 12 hours on that today. And today's a Sunday, right? So it's not technically a work day for me, but I'm still doing work, but I'm handling like all the lifestyle stuff today. And I kind of rank things hour by hour. This is huge. You want to live in today, but you want to live in the hour. So if you're starting to feel down this hour, you're like, okay, what can I do to win this hour? What can I do to start stacking some W's up? What's the most productive thing for me to do? And productive meaning, not productive for the sake of productive, okay? Not growth for the sake of growth, productive for the sake of what's going to lead to 50% happiness today and 50% happiness in the future. So the most productive thing you might do at that time is to go eat a healthy meal after your gym. Most productive thing you might do is you might need a nap at 1 p.m. so you can get up and bang out the rest of the day, After 8 p.m., the most productive thing you can do might be see your girlfriend. Like, that's how you're going to win the night, okay? Because you want something to look forward to every night, right? You want something to look forward to every night. You want something to look forward to every weekend. And then you want to be able to have a work day where you actually enjoy your work. And then your life's not going to be a struggle anymore. It's going to be running on inspiration. It's going to be running on inspiration, not motivation. Motivation is a symptom. When you require external third-party motivation, it's a symptom that you're not doing what's inspiring to you, or you're not properly stacking the wins in your mind of your tasks. Like, I get high on knocking down tasks, even tasks that other people might consider boring. Other people might consider having an organizational system and running your life on the level of discipline that I do boring and unfun, but I consider chaos, not getting things done, unfun. I consider it fun to look back through the day and be like, I nailed all those things, right? I stacked all those things because I know it's moving me forward. It's moving me more towards my goals, and my goals are going to make me happier in the future, and I can envision them and I can see progress. And even more than that, it comes down to character. You know, I can't be telling you guys this shit since 2012 and then slack off in myself. So you need to get it to a point where, like, you know, the fundamental characteristic of a man is his character. So your character and your pride is defined by your ability to get things done, to be productive, to be a man, to you know, wake up ready to win, right? You're feeling depressed and anxious in that hour, 10 p.m. or 10 a.m. You need to think, how do I change focus? How do I change focus and take an action on something that's going to make me win? This to me is the biggest thing. Like when I'm going through my course and I'm going through the state section, I'm going through all these techniques to change your state, and I'm really reality testing, and I'm really thinking, like, what do I actually do in my own life? You know, because my mood's not stable. It's up and down just like everyone else. But the difference is I'm like, if I'm feeling depressed or I'm feeling fearful about something, and I'm going in and out of those states all the time. I'm going in and out of all of the emotions all the time. I'm starting to give myself coaching thoughts, and I'm starting to say, what do I have to do to win this hour? You know? And I don't win every hour. Some hour I might lose to porn. Some hour I might lose to junk food. Some hour I might lose to feeling sorry for myself and being a bitch and sitting there with a victim mentality because I'm not taking responsibility, or I want certain things to be different instead of accepting how things actually are and moving forward. I don't want to take a loss for whatever reason, or I'm pissed off because there's construction next door. As you can see, I was trying to handle the construction problem, so I rented a 2-story penthouse with, turns out there's one other unit on the floor. Guess what they're doing? Non-stop construction. To the point where I don't think there's a single place in Georgia where I can't hear some fucking dipshit doing construction next door at all hours. So that tells me that I just need to get the fuck out of this country, period. You know, that's the answer. If I can't throw a bunch of money at it, instead of sitting there being in anger, I need to get out of the country, and I need to not be in my place during the day. So that's part of what I need to do to win. That's part of it, you know? Because if I don't do that, I'm sitting there angry, and I'm sitting there in a victim mentality. Why does this happen to me? And then I'm sitting at home and I'm getting pissed off, and I'm tempted to go bang on the door next door. And that can be a real problem because I've got a real temper. And it's one thing, I want to check that in the bud before it becomes a problem, especially in a foreign country. I don't want to be sitting here because I beat the shit out of some guy who's just completely disrespectful and doing construction on a Sunday morning, even though he deserves it. You know, as you can see, anger is something that I slip in and out of as well. And anger is just a wanting things to be a certain way, and reality is telling you differently, right? And the longer you stay in that, the longer you're arguing with reality. Whenever we argue with reality, we hurt ourselves. Okay, and again, I'm not saying that I don't do this all the time. I do this all the time. I'm trying to reprogram the same stuff you're trying to reprogram. But I at least have the game plan. I at least know what winning is. I at least know, I'm self-aware to know if I'm not acting in accordance with what's going to make me win. And I'm at least in that battle every day, you know? And one of the things that, if I'm going to give myself credit, the stuff that used to take me 2 days to get over, I can get over in 2 hours. The stuff that used to take me 2 hours to get over, I can get over in 2 minutes, you know? And a lot of that's come from this application of waking up to win. How do I find a way to win? Living in the day, and then even more than that, living in the hour. Because I'll tell you something. All the time, almost always, when you're depressed, when you're angry, when you're in anxiety, you're either living in the past or you're living in the future. Like fear, anxiety, that's always in the future. That's fear of future. Fear is just like picturing future pain and not wanting it to happen. Depressed is always a past event, because once you thought about something, it's in the past. Okay? Or you're depressed because you're thinking about stuff that you have to do in the future. So you're not living in present time, you're not living in current time, and you're not living within the hour. Okay, so if you just start to measure things in terms of the day and just be like, okay, as long as I'm running on Will's organizational system and I'm living 50% for today and 50% for the future, and all, my shopping, quarterly, everything is all structured, all automated, all running on tick, as long as I just fucking bang off every task and subtask and have a good system, my future is going to be taken care of, And as long as I just keep staying in the hour, my present's going to be taken care of. I might not be able to get to a point where I'm super happy today, where I'm at a 10 out of 10 on the state scale, and you'll see more about the state scale in my course, but I'm at least above a 5. I'm at least cruising, I'm at least fighting to stay okay, right? That's a 5 out of 10. 4 out of 10 is anger, and then lower than that is anxiety, depression, and at the bottom is nihilism, right? So we're constantly going up and down that ladder. So whenever you're struggling, just remember to center yourself back in the hour and think what can I do to win the hour? And the biggest thing, dude, is don't beat yourself up for the loss that you took last hour. If you ate junk food and watched pornography in the morning, that's a bad start to the day, right? For a lot of guys, that day's going to be lost, but it doesn't have to be. If you can write yourself and sort yourself out and be like, man, I fucked up 8 a.m. till noon, I lost, but you know what? I'm going to go super hard from noon till 10 tonight to where I feel in my heart that I've created enough forward momentum, I've stacked enough wins to where I feel like I turn this loss into a win. And that's the game, because ultimately it doesn't matter what you make in the future, what you have in the future, you're always going to be living in that day. You're always going to be living in the day. It doesn't go away. Having to win the day doesn't go away no matter how much money you have, girls you have, all these different things you may want. You are still going to be wrestling with your emotions. You still don't get to sit on the sidelines. So if you want the highest possible quality of life, you don't have to buy a single product from me. You just have to incorporate this mentality. You have to incorporate this mentality that state is what everything's about. I live for state. Even the belief in God and heaven is just the aim for state in your next life, in the afterlife. So everything is for state. I want to be as consistently happy as possible, which means to be in as consistently a good state as possible. I do that through living 50% for today and 50% for the future. And that's the strategy. The tactic is getting up early and waking up early every single day and aiming to win that day. Judging your day by, what at the end of the day, what you did to win that day. Okay, and not just productivity growth cult stuff, the amount of enjoyment and excitement and adventurousness and aliveness that you had as well. Happiness is the barometer. Okay, not just tasks for the sake of fucking tasks, but I accomplish these tasks and it's creating a higher quality of life. And on a granular level, even smaller level of tactics is you live within the hour, okay? And the biggest game changer for negative emotions is the focus change. Focus back on the hour and asking yourself, how do I win this hour? What do I have to do to win this hour? And the answer will be there. It's usually going to be ticking off one of those tasks or those subtasks, hitting the gym. It's not going to be... the answer is never going to be I need to lay down on the bed and be depressed. There's always going to be something that you can do to move yourself forward. Even if you know that you're probably not going to get up to a high state that day, you're at least going to keep yourself out of fear, depressed, and anger. Or you're at least fighting the good fight hour by hour to do that, knowing that 2-3 days from now, your barometer, your baseline, will be back to neutral, and then you can aim for those higher states, those 7s, 8s out of 10s. A lot more of that in the course that's coming up. So I know this was kind of a long-winded explanation, but there was a lot I wanted to cover on this, so I hope you found it useful. And if you got any questions, let me know in the comment section. And if you want help with this, if you're an entrepreneur from the ages of 23 to 35 and you're interested in some coaching on your health, wealth, relationship, lifestyle, mindset, organization, discipline, and really just maxing yourself out, which really just means like maximizing your happiness. If you're underperforming your potential and you're not as happy as you could be or should be, check out my page, revolutionarylifestyledesign.com/coaching. If you like what you see, book a call with my team, and we'll see if you're a good fit. Otherwise, stay tuned for the course, community, and group coaching that I'm going to be launching hopefully by the end of the year. Going to be building a real brotherhood here where I actually curate and select the right people, as opposed to what a lot of guys do, which is just pretend like they're curating and just like bring anybody in who's got a pulse and got the money to pay for it. But it's going to be a select group of guys and guys who are real serious about this self-improvement and building that brotherhood. So if either of those are not an option for you right now, they might be an option for you in the future, if the time is right. So appreciate you watching this, and wish you all the best in your personal development. Much love to you.